Zatel here with Richard Torrez Jr. having a really good fight April 5th at the Palms here in Las Vegas on ESPN. A step up fight, Richard. Well, let's start there with Guido Vianello, who has fought some good fighters in this division. He's actually ranked 15th in the world by the WBO right now for Usyk's title. But what do you look at? How much of a step up do you look at this as this fight?
I think this is a definite step up. I think that this guy, he's an Olympian. He has a pretty good pro pedigree now, and he has a pretty good amateur pedigree. I'm just looking forward to a fight. I think finally I'll be able to show like what I could bring to the table. Everyone's always like, "Oh, Richard's like doing this. He just mauls guys. He doesn't have these other abilities." And I really believe that this is a guy that could bring out the other facets of what I have to offer.
Yeah, just like watching Guido throughout his career, he's 6'6". He has good feet. He's got some athleticism, good jab, good right hand, and some ability just in general. But yeah, what do you think of Guido?
I think he's a good fighter. I
Yeah.
really do. I think that like you're right. He has that tennis background, so he has some pretty good feet with the boxing ability. I think that he does have some flaws though, and I think that come April 5th, I'll be able to show what those are. And I think honestly, I think that this is a fight that his style and my style is a great style to meet. I think me being a lefty, me moving a lot, me being able to get angles, it gives a lot of it makes it hard to fight as a heavyweight that likes to kind of have someone straight in front of you. And I'm looking forward to showing what I have as a smaller lefty heavyweight, kind of like Usyk did.
Right, right. Well, is this not is this a great test of cutting distance against these guys that are going to be taller in the weight class who can use their size and can move with their size? Like, is this just going to be a great test of you having to cut the distance at a higher level than ever as a pro?
Yeah, I think this is a great test to see how I handle the taller opponents. I think people often forget like how many tall opponents I found my amateur kind of background. I was a small guy there, and I'm a small guy here too. It's kind of what I've trained for. It's what I've been known to do. And I'm excited to show that I can still do it. I feel like sometimes like Top Rank's giving me some opponents that were more along my height. I've already fought a guy that was 6'6". No, I do think that Guido has some better footwork than him. And I think that Guido has some better boxing ability, but I'm really excited to show like why I'm confident in my ability.
Yeah, yeah, but you mentioned like all those guys in the amateurs that were very tall and could do that, but in the pros, is this the rangiest guy so far?
Yeah, no, I think so. Moore
Brandon
might have
Moore.
had, yeah, he might have had a little bit of a reach on him, but I think Guido knows how to use the reach a little bit better. Uh and I mean, end of the day, I like being inside. I like being in your face. Like this is a style that I'm known for. And so there's that side of how am I going to get in, but there's also the side of how's he going to handle when I do get inside. And that's what I do. That's where I work. That's where I give my best myself, the best of myself, and I'm excited to see how that question is answered as well.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Looking forward to just seeing the styles play out and see what angles and what tricks up your sleeve you have to show against a guy that's good at establishing his distance as a big guy. It's going to be fun to watch. But 2025, you're starting off the year strong with a strong matchup. What's kind of the benchmarks for 2025? Is it breaking into the top 10, or is it just showing people who know that you've won a medal and everything coming out of the Olympics that, hey, I'm the real deal. And 2025 is a big deal, a big start in showing that.
I think you always want to show people like what you have to offer, and you want to prove that you're here for a reason. Uh, I think the goal for this year is for me to prove that to myself as well. You always have those little doubts in your head in the back of your mind, like, oh, can I do this? And I want to see my potential. I want to see where I'm at. I want to see the top. I want to be. I want the challenge. And I think Guido's a great challenge. I want to be able to go and give it all I got. I think Guido's a great opponent to do that. He's an Olympian from another country. I'm ecstatic for this fight, because there's a challenge in front of me. There's the ability of there's more nerves involved. It's a main event, There's a lot of different facets of this that just make it so exciting, and it makes it like feel good to be alive, And I'm excited
Mm.
for this fight. And I think that's what I want. I want to prove to myself that I'm meant to be here too. And this is a great stepping stone and a great opponent to be able to do that on, because I feel like after Guido's last two opponents, he's kind of got some validation in the heavyweight division. And I think this is the perfect time to test what I got too.
Right, right. When people are giving respecting him as a legit heavyweight, right now is the time to fight him, not softened up, right?
Exactly.
You're right, right. But um, it's interesting when I was listening to you talk now for a minute and how honest you were about the nerves and everything. Keyshawn Davis, who just won his first title, your Olympic teammate, he actually said before that title fight with Baranchyk, he was very nervous. And
Mm-hmm.
even, he has those human moments when they strap the gloves on. He's like, hey, there's no taking them off. This is, there's no going back, right? So yeah, and you just talked about it, man. Yeah, could you open up on that a little bit more? Does the big fella get the butterflies? Is it, yeah.
I think it's the opportunity that gives me the butterflies, because this is the moment where you could really like either put like put a staple down and really say, hey, Richard's meant to be here. And there's a bunch of different things that go on. And I think that nerves are just the perfect way to show that you care about it. And I love having some of these nerves because it shows that I care about this fight, and I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm excited about this fight. I've told my dad before, and I've told like the people around me, man, if I'm not nervous going into fight, that makes me nervous. So I'm really excited to have just this ability and know that I'm here, because like you have to take the bad with the good. I'm having a main event. I'm in Vegas, and there's a lot of good with this. So I got to take the nerves of the bad, and I got to turn it into a positive as well. And those nerves are pushing me in training. Those nerves are pushing me in my recovery and everything I'm doing. And I'm super thankful for it, actually.
You mentioned headlining in Vegas. Right, this is big for a young heavyweight, American heavyweight, to be a headliner in Vegas. And right now, at a time in the sport where a lot of guys are struggling to headline and get dates in America. A lot of fights are going overseas, or there's this new process of TKO boxing forming. Diego, what do you think about all that going on right now?
I think that the changes of boxing are gonna be for the better. I do. I think that there's opportunity for growth in boxing, and I think that there's some some great minds behind whatever's going on. But in that same sense, I think there's some great minds right now with Top Rank. I think there's great minds with the ESPN, and I'm super thankful that they gave me the opportunity to have this happen. And I think that shows that they see something in me as well, as like either I'm a fan favorite, or I bring people to the fight, or the fact that they just like my boxing ability. So I'm thankful for this opportunity, and I really want to show or put like an exclamation mark on this night, because I think if I when I do well, then there'll be more nights like this to come.
I actually hesitate to bring this up right now because I got Jared. I see. I hope well for Jared being an American heavyweight and the guy that we know coming up. And but with him recently, like people looking at Jared recent performance as he's come back and won a fight since the Bacoli fight and his disinterest and all that, and then you know it is a bit of a contrast with you right now. You're talking about how alive the sport's making you feel and all that. What do you think about all that right now? Just that juxtaposition between two of America's most promising young heavyweights right now, yourself and Jared.
I think that Jared and I, while are in similar positions, are in different places. And I think that Jared's opened the door for a lot of American heavyweights. Jared was a guy that really put heavyweight boxing back on the scene, in my opinion, or at least for the up and comers, the prospects. You had the
Right.
Wilders and stuff, but like there wasn't a guy that was like, oh, this young kid like coming out of the USA. That was Jared, and Jared kind of put eyes on other American heavyweights because of that, and I'm always grateful for Jared for that. I think that I can't speak to what Jared's thinking. I can't speak to what he's doing. But I know whenever he was my training partner at the Olympic Training Center, we would have wars. You know, we have battles, and Jared loves competition. You know what I mean? And maybe he's upset that he didn't get the right level of competition in his fight. Maybe he was upset something along those lines. Uh, but I know that when the cards are down, and you want someone to have a great fight, Jared's the guy to do that with sometimes, you know? And so I'm still a Jared fan. I think that everyone has those days. Everyone has some
For
moments
sure.
where maybe they're not, maybe you kind of wish the camera wasn't on you. Um, and that's kind of why I'm thankful that I grew up in a very small town where everyone always knew who I was or my dad. And so like I couldn't have that off day a little bit because if I did, then someone would get back to my dad and I get in trouble at home. You know, so I'm kind of thankful for that little scenario that I had. Kind of grow up in a fishbowl. But I think I mean I'm still with Jared. I'm still rocking with them. You know, I still have a Team Anderson shirt and I'm looking forward to what he has to offer next.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, hey man, we got to fight for a lot of money one day, man. So let's
Exactly,
let's
man.
let's get yeah. We,
No, 1,000%.
right. So, but back to Guido. You know, you're a gentleman throughout the interview. But is Guido Vianello, is he getting hurt April 5th? Is he in for a world of hurt? As corny as that is to put it that way, but
I never like saying like, oh, I'm gonna go knock someone out because I feel like if you go for the knockout, it never comes. I
right.
will say this: I my motto in boxing and what I do and why I'm so confident in the sport is my conditioning. So I will say this: I will take Guido to hell and back, and I'll have a smile on my face when I do it because I'm training so hard. I'm so in shape and I'm so ready behind the scenes, behind the ring, when no one's watching. This is what I'm doing, what I'm working for, and I'm grinding, you know. And so the reason I give off a lot of confidence now is because I know how hard I trained just today and the day before and the day before that, you know. Like so, I am ready for this fight, and I really hope he is too.
Yeah, how was sparring for this camp? Did you go travel? Did you go to like Robert's gym in California or Vegas or and any notable names that you got work with in for this camp?
We saw the I'm at the Olympic Training Center right now, actually.
Oh, in
Uh,
Colorado. Yeah.
yeah, in Colorado Springs, and we got a couple guys out here, a couple big dudes like 6'8", 6'5", and even the guys on the team right now are like 6'6", 6'5". And so while they may not be the most notable guys, what I'm doing is I'm like going one round, one round, one round, one round with all these guys over a long duration. And they're all trying to mimic the style of what Guido has. And it's gonna be I'm just I'm in shape, man. That's all I can say. You know, I'm really in shape. And having my dad here, having the Olympic coach Billy Walsh, having my strength and conditioning coach Jose Polanco, um, I'm I'm ready, you know.